Hello and welcome back to Engaging Conversations, wherever in the world you're tuning in from. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and I am so excited to be here. It's truly incredible to see our community grow in the way that it has. And I want to thank each and every single one of you for your ongoing support. Your passion fuels our mission to spotlight the people, ideas, and innovations that drive real change. Before we get into it, a heartfelt thank you to our valued sponsor, Niaz Kenneth, Principal and Lending Specialist at Invest Intelligence. Niaz is dedicated to socially responsible investment strategies, particularly in disability accommodation. Your support, Niaz, makes conversations like these possible, and for that, we are truly grateful. Now, this week's episode is something special. We're not just talking about big ideas, we're talking about what it takes to make them a reality. Because we all know that ambition alone isn't enough. It's about the team you build, the guidance you embrace, and most importantly, the belief you have in yourself. Julian Day, founder of Consensus Awards, has spent decades recognizing and elevating innovation, helping visionaries turn ideas into global brands, just as we've seen with Atlassian and WiseTech Global. Julian's own journey is a testament to the power of collaboration, resilience, and being open to the right advice, from his humble beginnings as a UK college graduate to working alongside prime ministers, academics, industry leaders, and tech pioneers like Mike Cannon-Brookes and Scott Farquhar. His story proves that with the right people by your side, the possibilities are limitless. And today, we have the privilege of sitting down together to hear his journey firsthand. What I love most about today's conversation is that it celebrates the magic of potential, the incredible things that happen when good people come together for the greater good. It's an honor to welcome Julian to the show, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it.
Yeah, hi, I'm Julian. That's nicknamed Jolly Day, and I'm the founder of the Consensus Awards, which were started way back in 1999.
Wow, Julian, you've come a long way since then. Can you share the pivotal moments that led to the creation of the Consensus Awards?
Wow, I think back to 1978 when I graduated from college in the UK. I went straight into the computer industry at the forefront of technology then. I worked for a major American computer company for 3.5 years and did very well. And then worked for the company called Oxford University Press, which most people would know, the book publishers. Fantastic contract with them. And that led me to focus more on the software industry because I was involved in working with them to implement a major new computer system for one of their warehouses. And as a result, I was doing all of the quality assurance on the new software, and it led me then to joining a software company after that. I spent another 3.5 years in the UK before coming out to Australia in 1986. And the thing I've done all the way along is always put back to industry. I joined the British Computer Society in the UK and transferred my membership to the Australian Computer Society when I arrived in Australia. And very quickly, because I was in the forefront of using software development tools, I started a special interest group within the ACS, which was for computer-aided software engineering, case technology. I was having more people attend meetings than the actual main meetings of the ACS on a monthly basis. So I was encouraged to put my name forward. And the following year, I became the state president for the Australian Computer Society. At the same time, I was writing up case technology for a software magazine. And after a couple of years of being a contributor to the magazine, the editor of the magazine went on to other greater things, and I was invited to step up to be the editor of Software Magazine, which is fantastic.
Wow, so you've gone from being a student, moved forward a few years, and then you're now the editor of a magazine. All that experience and all that expertise has equipped you with the concept and the idea for the Consensus Awards?
Yeah, I was forever sort of seeing new technologies, and I was a real big advocate for what's locally designed and developed. And when I was editor of Software Magazine, I was invited to be a judge of 2 awards programs. One was the Western Sydney Innovation Awards, and also the Australian Design Awards. And having done that for a couple of years, I met the convener of the Design Awards through a mutual friend at Christmas in 1998 and said, yep, we're ready to go with the awards this year. He said, well, no, I'm leaving Standards, taking vacation, going back to the UK for 3 months. I said, well, why don't we get together when you get back in April? And I'd already got it planned out. You know, I've got the technical background. I know the software industry pretty well. I know all the vendors. And Terry's been running the Australian Design Awards, so knows how to run the awards themselves. So when he came back, I put the proposal to him and we formed Consensus and the Consensus Awards on the 1st of July 1999.
Just by making an alliance with the right people?
Absolutely, meeting the right people at the right time, and most importantly, doing the right thing for other people as well.
Well, the Consensus Awards has come a long way because you've achieved a remarkable track record with 9 out of 10 winners achieving significant success. Julian, what criteria do the judges prioritise when evaluating potential winners?
Yeah, the judges, and there's many of them, make a decision based upon, number one, is it really, really, really innovative? And we always have a minimum of 9 judges in the room to make the final decision, so they all have to agree, number one, that it's innovative. Secondly, they look at what its potential is worldwide, and of course the people presenting really need to understand their market, who their competitors are, what the landscape is, what's their value add, etc. And the last one is performance. Well, what is it? You know, tell us more about, you know, the value add to the people that are actually going to use the technology. It might be nice having an innovative technology, but are people going to buy it? And, you know, at the end of the day, what's the user experience? What's the go-to-market strategy?
Certainly some of the people that have won awards have ended up reaching global status. Atlassian and WildTech Global are notable examples of companies that actually gained early recognition through the Consensus Awards. How did winning the award impact their trajectories?
One thing we found over all the years is that winning an award is a major lift for those that win the award. The recognition of their innovation and all the hard work that they've put in. It's a rubber stamp from industry because it's judged by people from industry. And inevitably that opens doors worldwide. So Richard White from WiseTech Global openly says that he used the judging process to validate whether he was ready to go to market. He won an award in 2004, and as I say, the rest is history. A multi-billion-dollar company listed on the ASX. Secondly to that, the same year actually, it was quite a fantastic year for us, Atlassian won an award. And I met Mike and Scott, the founders, at a ACS meeting in October 2003. And I was just talking to them socially, and they were saying that they're developing this product called Jira. And my background being software development, project management, I latched onto that because that's exactly what Jira was designed to do. And I recommended to them that they enter the awards. At the time they won our award, they hadn't sold Jira. So they were still going to market. I recognised the potential. Obviously the judges agreed with me. A big tick in all those 3 boxes, as I mentioned, the innovation, the potential and performance. And they are just a mammoth organisation worldwide now. Absolutely brilliant result.
Congratulations, I suppose, to you as well, because you get to see a lot of the things that a lot of people may not have. And being at the right time, being with the right people at the right place, as you mentioned. How do you feel about people taking shortcuts when it comes to things like that?
Yeah, never compromise. There's no shortcuts. You've got to do the hard graft. I speak to a lot of founders. You know, they work extremely long hours, 100 hours a week or whatever. So they're always working at the weekends and in the evenings, not just during the daytime. And it's great that they get the recognition through an award because it really gives them an uplift. And of course, if there's more than one, just the founder, maybe there's 2 or 3 in the organisation, it's actually team congratulations. It really gives them an uplift, and off they go into bigger and better things. It's fantastic.
With the Australian economy experiencing gradual growth and a focus on innovation, how do you see the role of Consensus Awards evolving in the current economic climate?
We're in a very, very strong position as far as the innovation landscape is concerned. If people actually enter our awards and win, number one, winning the award is stage 1. But we keep in touch with all of the winners, so we track them through the years. We've now got many interviews of previous winners. You can see them on YouTube and search for Consensus Awards. And people saying, look, it really gave them an uplift. Absolutely fantastic achievement for them actually winning the award. But what's actually that they achieved on the back of it? And quite a few cite the fact that, of course, if they won the award, it allows them to attract investors in their business, which is number one, what they want to do when they're obviously looking to go worldwide.
Well, the Consensus Awards have a unique model with an open process and independent judging, as you mentioned earlier. Julian, can you explain how this model differs from other award programs and what its benefits are?
Yeah, we're very specifically looking at innovation. At the end of the day, it's a very detailed process. I don't want to scare people away, but it is the most robust awards program in the technology space worldwide. We've compared it with others over the years. And secondly, we spend a lot of time with each entrant. We actually help them through the process. They love that because we're a sounding board. Any questions we're asking in the entry form, we're more than happy to explain what the judges are looking for, give them some ideas. We also do a complete review of the entry form. I don't know of any other awards program again that worldwide that actually that goes to that length to actually go through the detail of the entry form before it goes to the judges and give them the opportunity to fix things up that we believe the judges are looking for. So it's very much a hand-holding exercise all the way through. And it's quite interesting. We have, each time we run the awards, a previous winner from our previous year. And the speaker this last year was fantastic. Just so that everyone's aware that as well as winning an award, if you're nearly there but not quite, the judges can confer a highly commended. And this particular company were highly commended in October 2023. And we're now running the awards twice a year, and that's another unique worldwide. So they entered the awards in the first half of 2024, and they won an award. So I invited them to be a guest speaker in the second half of the year, edition 2 of 2024, and they just spoke unbelievably, so confident about winning the award and the value that it had given to them, etc. So it does show you that it works well. We engage with everybody, we help them through the process, and it's great to see them successful.
And what an experience it must be for them as well, because they're going to obviously get the kind of feedback they're not going to get anywhere else, are they?
No, that's a good point there, because I go around, I sort of many incubators, startup hubs, universities where they're doing research across Australia and New Zealand, and I quite often find individuals or groups of people, say researchers at universities, doing exactly the same thing that others are doing in other parts. And I actually say to them, and I'm sure I've saved a few individuals and their parents a fair bit of money by saying, well, by the way, the technology you're looking to develop already exists or is being developed elsewhere. I really suggest you go and check that out before you actually get your parents to put more money in. And I believe that's happened a few times. But back to your point as well is the fact that if they do engage with us, we do believe that they have the opportunity for success, then the world is their oyster. Fantastic.
What a great investment, isn't it?
Yep. At the end of the day, the money they spend on the entry form is actually very, very small compared to the feedback they get from a very large number of people from the industry. Basically give them a rubber stamp to say that this is a technology that is obviously something that could have worldwide potential.
So Julian, what are some of the most memorable innovations or companies that have been recognised?
I think there's a couple that stand out. There's obviously Atlassian and WiseTech Global, but there's one Western Australian company that won a couple of years ago, and that's called ARI, A-R-I Water. And they have spent hard graft over many, many years, 15, 16 years, developing a technology to capture the debris on the streets that goes down the stormwater drains. And they developed initially cages that fit very nicely, snugly into each drain, which are standard drain sizes across Australia. But then they developed a filter, which is actually, it's called a pillow because it fits in snugly into those cages that they'd previously made. And it filters all the water. So these guys are stopping leaves and debris go down the stormwater drains, but they're also filtering all the water. So it actually saves all the crap, excuse my French, but all of the bad stuff going out to sea, which is absolutely brilliant. I'll mention another one, totally left field. This is a guy in Western Sydney. And what he's developed is a brand new innovative guttering system for houses. You know, the old gutters clog up with leaves, even if you put filters over them, whatever, and they rust away over the years. Well, his is developed using colour bond. And the colour bond is a casing that goes around the gutter and protects anything going into the gutter itself. And easy fall, because the water falls through the gutter very easily, easy fall guttering. And just totally, out left field, he saw the opportunity, and based upon the award that he's recently won, he won in early 2024, he's putting the foot down on the throttle and developing it very quickly, which is fantastic.
Wow, so it's very, very inspiring for the listeners. So when people are trying to get into a market or getting some ideas.
Yeah, there was even one person last night I met, and when I told him about the diversity of the awards we have, because we started, obviously, as I said, with my background of software, but we're now across all industry sectors, and those last two examples are good for that. But at the end of the day, this guy just said, look, he has not seen any awards program, and he knows the industry quite well, that actually is able to identify the best and actually reward the best. Many industry associations run awards, but what happens in those awards typically is that they choose one winner. These are the finalists and the winner is. Ours is very unique. It's up to the judges to give out as many or as few awards as they believe meet those three major criteria. So there can be any number of award winners. So it makes it really interesting on the night of the awards. Nobody knows how many winners there are going to be. And each one gets a separate citation as to why it wins an award. And secondly, they have the opportunity, if they're highly commended, for example, to get the feedback, constructive feedback from the judges, to then say, well, look, let's have another go. Let's actually fix up the feedback we've had from the judges and make it a reality.
Julian, how do you foresee the Consensus Awards contributing to the global recognition of Australian innovation, especially with the planned expansions?
Yeah, look, over the years, I've always looked to see whether we could take our model into other countries. And so we currently run over Australia and New Zealand. And we did a lot of work looking at Singapore before COVID hit, but we put that on hold. But we're now in a very strong position to take the awards into Singapore, and we're also being invited to potentially set up the awards in New York as well, which will be absolutely fantastic. There are two key issues here. Number one, we obviously want to make sure that we keep the robustness of the whole process in place. So we'd be looking to partner with individuals or small firms in those areas that are totally independent to actually assist us in putting the whole process in place. Secondly, looking for a decent number of independent judges to be part of the judging process in each of those locations. And once we do this, it's great, because what we can do worldwide, once we've got these awards happening in different countries, is we can actually invite the winners from different countries to collaborate on new technology. They're all winners, so why shouldn't they collaborate to a next level, which is great.
Wow, that's taking it to the next level. With the current economic focus on productivity improvements and technological advancements, and we're seeing a lot of that, how can initiatives like the Consensus Awards drive economic growth and innovation in Australia and I suppose regional parts of the country as well?
Yeah, we're not the only awards program in the technology space. The ACS, for example, has their own awards now, and there's a couple of others. I think the prime reason why we've been so successful in identifying winners, and 9 out of 10 of those winners go on to be highly successful worldwide, is because of the independence and the fact that we go out there looking for potential entrants. Most of the other awards programs we know, they rely on people to approach them. through obviously sending out a notice of interest or whatever. No, but we actually go out, as I mentioned before, to the incubators. We talk to the developers. The conversation I had the other night, this guy is extremely interested just because we are different. We are the only ones that do what I've just talked about.
And that's perhaps how you were able to overcome and survive the pandemic and other things that a lot of companies have experienced over the past 5 years. I mean, the Consensus Awards has certainly bounced back after the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. What adaptations or changes were made to continue supporting innovators during this period?
Well, we cut back a fair bit. Obviously, I couldn't go out to those incubators, etc. But we kept in touch with many of our previous winners. And I believe that at least half of the entries that we got were actually nominated during that period by previous winners and our judges, because the judges obviously in contact with many people as well. So we did actually end up getting a reasonable number of entrants through that period. And we actually announced the awards virtually, of course. We didn't actually have a big awards night or whatever. So that's how we catered for that. But we really bounced back in 2021 and 2022. And the big awards presentation we had in 2023 was fantastic, with the Federal Minister, Ed Husic, presenting the awards. And over the years, even since we started, we've had ministers from both sides of the fence in politics in Canberra. Depends who's in power, of course. Present the awards, whether it be Malcolm Turnbull or Stephen Conroy or Kate Lundy. A whole range of other people have contributed to help us get the message out that these awards are, number one, unique and do reward great innovation in Australia and New Zealand.
And Australia and New Zealand really are, and especially Australia, is really renowned for its innovation. Look, I know Malcolm Turnbull personally, and on one occasion, he actually endorsed a local product. There's a story about that. He was meant to come and cut the ribbon and do the launch when he was Information Communication Technology Minister at the time. And it just so happened that the day that he was meant to come and present, he became Prime Minister. And that was it. But anyway, he still come good. He recorded a message from his Prime Minister's office and he sent it through and he saved the day. So that was good on him.
Yep.
Good on him.
No, Malcolm's been a big supporter of Consensus. He's actually presented our awards twice. And prior to that, previous years, year one when we started, we had Richard Alston present the awards in March 2000. And he was the Minister for Information and Communications Technology at the time. So, from day one, we've always had a minister or the shadow minister or someone very prominent in industry to present the awards. It's been great.
There you go. You're certainly making headway, and that gives hope to a lot of people around the country, because it means that you don't necessarily have to be in the big smoke in the city to have somebody come knocking on your doors. Although sometimes they've got to make the effort as well and come knocking on our doors, don't they?
Absolutely true. And we rely very heavily on that network of people that we currently have, our judges, previous winners. And also, publicity through podcasts like this. It's always great to tell the story so that we get the message out there as much as we can. We're open for anybody to give us a call just to suss out whether they have a viable technology, innovation. And again, it's across any industry sector. It could be building, construction, it could be agriculture, it could be fintech, it can be anything. But please don't hesitate to just give us a call. I'm particularly, people say I'm a very good sounding board around almost any innovations, and therefore can provide them good feedback as to where they're currently at with their innovation and the direction they should follow.
Well, Julian, I'm going to put your contact details in the show notes, so for anyone who wants to reach out, they'll be able to do that. And what's your best website?
Yeah, the website, you can do a search for either Consensus Awards, you'll find it, or just consensus.com.au. Very easy. We've got heaps of articles, so, doing a search for Consensus Awards, particularly the YouTube, we've got many, videos up there of previous winners. Also, we got, I think it's 3 judges talking about the judging process. So, they're the ones that actually do the work for us. and it's useful just to talk, listen to what they're saying about what they look for as they're evaluating the technologies.
Julian, as someone deeply involved in the tech industry, what emerging trends or technologies do you believe hold the most promise for the future?
Oh, look, at the moment there's a real big buzz around AI, but at the end of the day, I go to many seminars in the industry, and AI is not truly there at the moment. Artificial. Is it truly artificial? Most of the technologies that are now branded AI have actually just been overnight rebranded AI, and they're driven by algorithms. They're not actually artificial. Machine learning is the direction, and that is that you're building something that is actually learning every time from the decisions it's making. Therefore, it becomes artificial. Because at the moment, AI, generally speaking, they're not true artificial intelligence. But put that aside, niche players, there are still opportunities in niche areas to develop new technologies. A good example is, developing a new guttering system, or protecting our waterways by putting in stormwater drain filters. Think outside the square, what's possible. And again, happy to have a conversation with anybody about that as well.
It's within those challenges is where you see the opportunities. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've got a very good example where, and I can't mention their name, but there's some organisation that entered our awards in 2018 in the Generic Consensus Innovation Awards. And the technology they've got could be world-breaking, like it could be what everybody's looking for worldwide in terms of effectively, changing deserts into agricultural land and a whole range of things. And he entered in 2018, and he's a very science-based researcher. And what he put forward to the judges was sort of taken, well, yeah, it sounds like it'll work, but, how are you going to prove it, and a whole range of things. So the judges gave him feedback to say, well, look, come back when you're ready, and we'll reevaluate it. So they gave him highly commended in 2018. Well, he re-entered again in 2022. He's done a huge amount of more research on this. It's become much more of a solid offering. But again, and this is a totally different group of judges, which I have to make sure has to happen, because you can't have the same judges looking at the same technology again. So a completely fresh group of judges looked at the technology in 2022, but they also said, no, you're still not ready yet. You really don't know how you're going to take this to market, and ideally what you need to do is actually create and set up a prototype so you can actually see that this actually does all work. He's entering again this year. So he entered in 2018, 2022, and now he's entering the awards in 2025. I spoke to him late last year, and I wished him all the luck. He knows I will provide him as much support as possible to go through the process again, and I wish him well. But that just shows that it's great that people will continue on, even though they might have a setback. I encourage them and will help them through the process. And I always say to anybody that says they've got an innovative technology, even if they don't come to us, run your idea past at least 5 people, unique, different people in different industries. So if you've developed something in the medical space, you might talk to a couple of doctors, get their feedback. No, go and talk to a labourer. Who's actually going to buy this stuff? Go and talk to a school teacher. Ask them if this technology is on the market. Is it something you'd like to purchase? So go and talk to a minimum of 5 people. You don't have to give everything away, but you just talk broad sense about, well, this is what potentially it could do. This is what the product offering would be. Would you actually purchase that and go from there?
Julian, I could talk to you all day. We'd have so much to talk about.
Yep.
So I'm definitely going to get you to come back if you will accept that offer. However, I want to ask you one more question, a very important one. Now, for aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators listening today, what advice would you offer to help them transform their ideas into successful world-class ventures?
I think there's three aspects to that. Number one is whatever the idea is, as I said, is share it with at least 5 people. If you then still believe that, yes, it's got legs, so to speak, you've really got to bring together some people to advise you. Don't do it alone. I don't see any founders out there that are actually just doing it alone. It's normally a sort of group of 2 or 3 people, so you need to find at least 1 or 2 other people to help you on the road. If you're, and people will understand this, but if you are really somebody that is really sort of science-based or research-based, you obviously need somebody on their team who's actually going to talk about how are you going to commercialise it, somebody that's been there, done it before. The third one is contacts, is make sure that, number one, yes, it's innovative. Number 2, you know what the potential is. But you then got to say, well, how are you going to go to market? What's your go-to-market strategy? Do you have the contacts to do that? And what channels are you going to use? Are you going to, maybe it's a software product, it could be a SaaS-based product, so that dictates that you're going to be setting it up where people can just download it from your server, maybe as a test application and then obviously upgrade to the latest version or whatever. But the other point there is that might not be the case. It could be something that's corporate based, therefore you've actually got a partner with maybe 1 or 2, like Atlassian did. They had 3 beta customers when they won our award. They did it right. They actually got these 3 large companies, one here in Sydney, one in the US and one in the UK, to actually be beta sites. So they use these sites to actually get feedback of their technology to actually add more functionality into the product before they went to market. So think about the channels. Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to do it through channel partners? Is it a SaaS model, etc., etc.?
Or they could just contact you and you'll guide them.
Absolutely. Happy to do that.
Julian, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your support. And most of all, thank you for all the great work that you're doing.
Good on you, Leon. It's great to know you, and thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you. And that brings the end to another incredible episode of Engaging Conversations. What a journey this has been. Julian shared some truly valuable insights, and while his style might be a little more direct, the depth of knowledge he's brought to the table today is undeniable. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and miss the bigger picture. But if there's one thing to take away from this conversation, it's that embracing your uniqueness, being courageous enough to do things differently, and surrounding yourself with the right people can be the key to success. The proof is in the results. 9 out of 10 Consensus Award recipients have gone on to make global headlines, shaking up industries from construction to fintech, agriculture to technology. Julian and the Consensus Awards have shown that Australia has world-class talent ready to make an impact, and that success isn't about privilege. It's about positioning yourself in the right place with the right people at the right time. Innovation and meaningful change aren't things we wait for. They happen when we step forward and make them happen. If today's conversation has sparked something in you, I encourage you to reach out. Details are in the show notes. And stay tuned, because in the coming episodes, we'll be diving into stories that challenge the way we think, from innovators redefining human connection in unexpected ways to pioneers carving new paths in industries you might have never imagined. These are the conversations that push boundaries, spark new ideas, and remind us of the limitless potential within our community. There are so many extraordinary people in our community with stories that deserve to be told, and I can't wait to share them with you. A heartfelt thank you to you, our audience, our guests, our sponsors, and the incredible team that helps bring this program to life. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and until next time, stay safe, stay inspired, and let's keep making a difference together.